GRCAM virtual conference. The theme, our goal for 2024. Direct talks with GRCAM members worldwide and people on my friends list on social media. Welcome Facebook friends, associates, and group members to our monthly virtual conference. I'm your host, Emmanuel Barbee. Please hit that like button, subscribe, and share with your friends, ladies and gentlemen. We host our virtual conference every last Saturday of the month until we are able to raise $500,000 for our film project, Hood Liberator, made in Chicago. The war against Willie Lynch begins. This is a solution-based docudrama based on my experience growing up in the inner cities of Chicago and the purpose why I created the grassroots community activist movement. This is our Black Panther moment, except it's not owned by Disney, it's owned by GRCAM members. We wanted to get this film in front of 500 million people worldwide. We will offer a 21st century solution based domestically within the United States of America and internationally, on the African continent, in the Caribbean, and in Brazil. GRCAM is my gift to Black millennials, Generation Z, and my group members worldwide. Our goal for 2024 is to get everyone on my Facebook friends list, which is 1,880 people, and everyone in my social groups to participate during our free Facebook Live events. If you are unable to participate, then when you have a moment, please leave a public comment about the topic on my YouTube page and also on my Facebook page. And share this video podcast with your friends. This will help get the ball rolling. I want to give a special shout out to Mr. Furman Jackson Jr., who had allowed me to come on his platform so that I could promote my revised book, my virtual store, and our film project. Those of you who have a large following, please allow me to come on your platform so that I can promote what we are doing for our people. Before I jump into my presentation, I need all of my listeners to please follow me on my Medium page so that you can have access to my transcript and all of my resources. To find my Medium page, just go to my YouTube page, and next to my photo on the far right, where it says more links, click on it and scroll down until you find my Medium page. Click on it and look for the exact title of this presentation, and then scroll down to show and prove. Also, mark your calendars for the entire month of February. We will be hosting our annual quote-unquote Black Business Affair 2024. I am encouraging Black artists and African artists, such as authors, entrepreneurs, musicians, and poets, to make arrangements with me to come on my platform and promote yourself to my listeners from the global community. If you are serious about being a part of our film project or doing business with me, then please send me your email address to my Facebook inbox so that I can email you everything that I do online. Those of you who join our film project will go down in history with me and Sister Renee. One of my group members told me they had an issue with trying to donate to our GoFundMe page. Come to find out, GoFundMe is no longer using PayPal. They did not notify me. I wrote GoFundMe, and all I got was an automatic message. Once we get everything straightened out with GoFundMe, then we will repost our new GoFundMe page for 2024. I am not just on here to sell my revised book and items from my virtual store. I use my platform to interact with everyone on my Facebook friends list and everyone in my social groups, both Christian and secular. I'm giving everyone an opportunity to shine. For those of you who are Black entrepreneurs, for you to promote your products and services. I give people in the faith community an opportunity to share the gospel of Jesus Christ. I give Black artists and African artists an opportunity to share their special talents to my listeners from the global community. After the show, I offer my guest speakers an incentive by teaching them how to create their own podcast and YouTube channel to help them earn extra revenue. I also assist people on my friends list with creating basic websites, finding college scholarships and grants, housing, and legal services, all for free. This is how I give back to my community. At this time, all I can do is news and social commentary because I have little to no support. My revised book has been on Amazon for 12 years and still barely selling. Same thing for items on my virtual store. But I refuse to be ignored. We're coming a long way, but we also got a long way to go. Fortunately, I have you all with me. You can watch this Facebook Live, the time from 2 p.m. through 4 p.m. American Central Time, 3 p.m. Canadian Time, 8 p.m. West African Time, 9 p.m. South African Time, 10 p.m. East African Time, and 8 p.m. UK Time. Instructions on how to participate on the show. First, watch this video podcast. This is called Side A. After I finish my presentation, then I will open up the phone lines through Facebook Messenger. This is called Side B. You can interact with me in real time either by voice call by clicking on the phone icon or by video call by clicking on the camera icon. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Emmanuel Barbee. I am the founder and president of GRCAM, the Grassroots Community Activist Movement. I am a descendant of American slaves. I am a professional blogger, an online talk show host, an upcoming social entrepreneur, a filmmaker in progress, and a new urban author of the book, quote, The Solution for Black America, Reclaiming, Rebuilding, and Restoring the Urban Ghettos in America, second edition. It's available on Amazon. This book is an autobiography about my experience growing up in the inner cities of Chicago. In my book, I provide a 21st century plan on how my Christian business will help eradicate urban violence in Chicago while meeting the needs of the low-income African American community while strengthening the Black family if given a chance. Before the Wall Street movement, Black Lives Matter movement, ADOS, American Descendants of Slavery, and FBA, Foundational Black Americans, there was GRCAM, the Grassroots Community Activist Movement. I started GRCAM on a site called Gopher back on November 10th, 1991. After 15 years of being overlooked and rejected, I decided to write and publish my story. I wrote my book for three reasons. One is to raise awareness about the genocide which is taking place within our inner cities in America, specifically in Chicago. Another reason why I wrote my book is to promote my virtual Christian socialist organization, the Grassroots Community Activist Movement. The Grassroots Community Activist Movement is all about kingdom building, global Black unity, and promoting Black economic empowerment in order for us to solve our social problems within the United States of America, as well as throughout the Black world, meaning on an international front, Africa, the Caribbean, and Brazil. We will offer a 21st century solution to an old problem. For me, Christian socialists is an authentic form of Christianity. A Christian socialist is a form of socialism based on the teachings of Jesus. We believe that capitalism is adulterous and rooted in greed, social inequality, and institutionalized racism, which most Christian denominations consider a moral sin. We will focus on what we stand for: love, compassion, social justice, and liberation theology. Jesus told us to focus on the least of these in society, according to Matthew chapter 25, verse 35 through 40. He also commanded us to be witness to others, not just for us to read his word, but to activate social change in the world, according to Matthew chapter 28, verse 16 through 20. We will be committed to the healing ministry of Jesus by showing compassion to inner city youth and their families, which will promote dignity to the people and community we will serve. We emphasize the importance of morals and character development for both Christians and non-Christians. We will also focus on strengthening the Black family while improving the low-income African American community by focusing on solving Black issues on a domestic front and also on an international front. We will focus in the areas of socioeconomics, education, family, religion, entertainment, employment, media, and politics. My goal is to turn my social groups, both Christian and social and secular, into a real Christian business known as GRCAM of Chicago, the Grassroots Community Activist Institute of Chicago. GRCAM of Chicago mission is to eradicate urban violence in Chicago through art, culture, commerce, spiritual development, and hosting African tours in 10 African nations. We're going to meet people from my African group, GRCAM of Africa. GRCAM of Chicago will be committed to assisting with improving the African American community while having a strong connection to our chapters in Africa. We will offer our members and students parenting classes, information technology classes, blockchain technology classes, coding classes, electrician classes, petroleum engineering classes, landscaping, creating Black empowerment films, oil painting, and journalism. We also plan on offering associate's degrees. GRCAM of Chicago will help prioritize the African American community, such as securing our neighborhood and protecting our women and children. We will offer stipends for Black youth who will act in our films, music videos, and stage plays, depending on our budget and sponsorship. We will also offer a second chance program to reach out to former gang members, ex-offenders of nonviolent crimes, and homeless individuals within the community. GRCAM of Chicago will be a multi-purpose facility. Two main sectors, a nonprofit sector and a for-profit sector. GRCAM of Chicago will operate under 9 separate functions under one roof. We will practice group economics in real time by pooling our resources together in order to create and control our own community health care center, community grocery store, and community housing. This will be group economics in action. The following 9 components of GRCAM of Chicago. 1, social service component. 2, spiritual component, which will be optional for secular people. 3, a political component. 4, an entertainment component. 5, an entrepreneur component. 6, health and wellness component. 7, Black media component. 8, science and technology component. 9, travel and tourism components. For 32 years, Black America / Black Chicago has rejected and overlooked my vision and plan. This is why I'm reaching out to African immigrants within the United States of America to help speed up the process from the following African nations: South Africa, Kenya, Ethiopia, Tanzania, Uganda, Angola, Liberia, Ivory Coast, Ghana, and Nigeria. I don't operate like the next black man. I have my own style and way of doing things. There's no middleman. You will work with me directly. It was black Americans who helped fight for Africans and Afro-Caribbeans to come to the United States of America during the Civil Rights era. I need your help in getting my revised book on that bestsellers list and to help get this film project fully funded and made so that the black masses will know our story and what we're trying to do. The question remains, why does it take black people and African people so long to get things done? Shout out to Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger. After 40 years, they were finally able to get France out of their country because they were able to connect with other like-minded Africans. I encourage African immigrants in America to go to my Medium page and select this presentation. Then scroll down to Show and Prove to learn more about this Willie Lynch letter. This is what black Americans experience and still to this day. But through my Christian business, we are going to declare war on this slave mentality that is affecting my racial group for the past 400 years. Once we've raised the funds for the film project, then I will look for legitimate production companies. First, I will reach out to black production companies and see if they will be willing to work with us. If not, then I will reach out to African production companies. And if that doesn't work, then I will look for the best production company to work with us. I will direct this film, but use the money to hire a legitimate production company that will help tell our story in a professional manner. Those who have rejected my vision and plan will not be part of my business because this is membership based. I promise none of my members will never have to experience such foolishness that I had to endure just for trying to do something positive in the African American community. We will invest in our black youth and help them reach their personal life goals. We can't stop the white supremacist financial elites from gentrifying our communities because, after all, they create the laws. We can't stop illegal immigration. As long as we reside in America, we will be sabotaged. Look at what happened to Black Wall Street. GRCAM Chicago will help benefit Africa as well because we will launch African tours with those African nations that will work with us. GRCAM Chicago is nonpartisan and we're independent. I would like to form an alliance with African immigrants within the United States of America. This was for credibility before we expand to Africa. In each African nation that we will visit, we will set up a local chapter and match black entrepreneurs with African entrepreneurs, black artists with African artists, so that we can do international trade among our people. We also plan on setting up local chapters in each African nation that we visit. Our objective is to unite the middle class, working class, and so-called underclass Africans with the diaspora and vice versa. Our focus is on solving black issues point blank and providing quality programs and services to our members and students. We will work directly with single black mothers, single black fathers, and low-income two-parent families that becomes GRCAM members. Finally, I wrote my revised book in order to generate capital/seed money so that I can hire qualified black middle-class professionals to assist me in the daily operations of my Christian business. I want to make Chicago a model for other cities across the United States of America. It's my hope that GRCAM Chicago will become a franchise just like McDonald's. I'm just a messenger. I'm just a voice for GRCAM members are the focus. The assassination of Dr. King Jr., Malcolm X, and Fred Hampton were not the goal. Killing the movement was the goal. What the white supremacist financial elites didn't count on was that when I turn on the microphone, I had something positive to share with my people, my vision and my plan for Black America and Africa. Over here, we will raise the bar. I am encouraging the Black grassroots and the global African family to help me get my story on the big screen in order to let the Black world know who we are. The, the grassroots community activist movement. Pan-Africanism sounds good, but it's just ideas. Marcus Garvey created the so-called freedom flag, which is red, black, and green. I was disappointed when I learned that he never went to Africa. He was educated in Europe, and he wanted Black people in America to just get on a boat and go back to Africa. That's hypocritical. He also took donation from the Ku Klux Klan. Don't take my word for it, do the research. Over here, we include God in our plan because it was Jesus/Joshua who gave me this vision in the first place, and I claim ownership. I offer something that no Black politician or Black preacher have, and that is a solution to solve all of our social problems in America if given a chance. I challenge any Black politician, male or female, any Black preacher, male or female, within the United States of America. Over here, we're turning my ideas into a reality. First, by getting our story on the big screen. The proceeds from the film will help put me in a better position financially so that I can purchase property in Chicago, buy office equipment, hire qualified Black middle-class professionals, and African immigrants in America. We will make our presence known within the low-income African-American community starting in Chicago. My revised book is the foundation of my Christian business. Our objective is to separate ourselves from con artists, degenerates, hardened criminals, off-code Negroes, pedophiles, and urban terrorists. Not saying that I'm better than those persons. I'm saying that won't be allowed in my business. We're raising the bar in Black America, and I want the Black world to know our story. Non-Black sympathizers are welcome to join us, not as groups, but as individuals, and they will have to take a back seat because we will be using Afrocentric perspective, and it's Black people's responsibility and African people's responsibility to build this organization and to own it. We will not be colonized. Anyone who tries to undermine us will get 2 warnings. The third time, that person or persons will have their name, photo ID, and address displayed on our Judas list, and they will be barred for life. This is how I get down. Anyone who tries to steal money from the business, we will take them to federal court and sue the pants off of them. If they don't have any income, then we will press for them to do jail time. Those who are not members, we will pray for them, show them tough love, and keep it moving. Black America have a twisted view about those who have our best interests. For example, when I was a teenager, the dope man was looked upon as a hero in the Black community, but I viewed him as a sellout because he was doing the bidding of the white supremacists. That is to delete as many Black people as possible through selling poison to Black people while destroying the Black community. I discussed this in my revised book about how the white supremacist financial elites divided Black people after the Civil Rights era by allowing the upper class Blacks and middle class Blacks to relocate to the suburbs while making the Black community vulnerable. They flooded the Black community with drugs, guns, and liquor stores, which I call perfect genocide. The dope man sells pipe dreams, and now he is lacing his street drugs with fentanyl. I sell ideas beyond the Black ghetto. I hear other Black grassroots organizations use our terms like getting on code. When you ask them what is the code, they say the code is the leader. That makes no sense to me. Over here, all of the principles in my revised book is the code. Anyone who disagrees with the principle cannot be part of us. Some of my critics ask me, since I'm not getting the support I want, why I don't just relocate to another city. I explained to them that This Willie Lynch mentality is in every inner city in America. Just like Ezekiel, chapter 34, verse 1 through 14. I am speaking life into the valleys of dry bones. I'm speaking life into our inner cities where death and destruction is rampant and our youth are being slaughtered every week. Once I start making money and making a positive impact in the African American community, mark my words, everybody in Chicago would want to be a part of GRCAM. I'm not here for people to like me. I'm just trying to get this film project fully funded and made so that I can earn enough money to hire qualified Black middle class professionals and African immigrants in America to get this organization up and running in Chicago, and I'm going to turn it over to them once it's established, and I am taking my talents to South Africa. Once we have a physical building, then we will host mandatory orientations for local residents. Everyone must pass our criminal background checks, sign our community pledge, and submit their thumbprints to be placed in our database in order for us to weed out anyone that's going to try to do us harm or try to undermine us. The whole purpose of us being is to become global citizens and to give Black parents options. As long as you live in America, you will be treated as third and fourth class citizens because, as I mentioned in my last video podcast entitled, quote, Getting the Political Game during an election year 2024, that Black Americans don't really have our own, technically we don't have our own homeland. Yes, Africa is our historical homeland, but that's why I want to make sure that we get along with African immigrants here in America first before we actually physically go over and visit the African continent and connect with our people there, and for us to try to get citizenship by helping improve the conditions, I would say, in South Africa. And for example, with that load shedding, which is nothing more than rolling blackouts, those are one of the things that we're going to touch on and try to improve in South Africa through this Christian business in exchange for citizenship, because I want to make sure that my members will have that option, especially Black parents, an option to have dual citizenship on the African continent or in the Caribbean or in Brazil. The U.S. Constitution and the Bill of Rights had no intention of providing freedom and liberty to Black Americans. They legalized African slavery into this nation's foundation documents. Keep in mind, most of those who wrote the Constitution were slave owners themselves. The United States of America was built on the idea that Black people were assets and commodities, meaning our ancestors were owned and controlled like animals. They were denied basic rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. They were viewed no different than cows, chicken, and pigs. The framers used broad and ambiguous terms to distinguish and minimize debates about the new caste system they were creating. They were faced with the hypocrisy on one hand. They were saying all men deserves life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. When we talk about human rights violations, we are always pointing somewhere else. We're always looking at someone else's circumstances. My job is to make sure that our message gets out to the general public, Now, our message is influencing American politics. The dominant society told us we should vote for representation. Now, 3 decades later, the conversation has moved from representation to demanding tangible, such as lineage-based cash payment reparations for descendants of American slaves and a anti-black hate crime bill. This next election is going to be a monument in American history if black people do not show up for the Democrats. Ukraine government tells the American government what they want and need from them. The state of Israel tells the American government what they want and need from them. The LGBT community tells politicians what they want and need from them. The Asian community tells politicians what they want and need from them. The Latino slash illegal immigrants tell politicians what they want and need from them. When it comes to black Americans, these same politicians start practicing benign and neglect policy towards our issues. We have to check them on that. The civil rights generation taught them that they could abuse us and still get our vote. Black Americans have been rewarding the Democrats for 60 years. It's my hope that black Americans will have that same energy like our grandparents had during the civil rights era. Instead of pushing for social integration and cultural assimilation, we start visiting these African nations and reconnecting with our people on the African continent, the Caribbean, and Brazil, setting up GRCAM in all these places so that we can do international trade among our people, and also so that we can have dual citizenship outside of America. Without financial support from the Black grassroots and the global African family, then I am unable to do my job. This is not my burden alone. This is a collective burden. Like I mentioned before, this is a Nehemiah assignment. The sooner we get this film project fully funded and made, the sooner we can build GRCAM Chicago and then expand the business to Africa, starting in South Africa. I will lead by example by applying for dual citizenship. I will also set up our first chapter in South Africa, and we will also shoot our second film entitled, quote, African Liberator, Battle Against the Colonized Mindset. We will focus on solving load shedding or rolling blackouts in South Africa in exchange for citizenship. We will replicate GRCAM Chicago in South Africa, but I will have my African group members, GRCAM of Africa, to reflect South African culture in the business. I can't make anyone buy my revised book or buy items from my virtual store. All I have is my film project. This is my last attempt to try and do something positive for my racial group here in America. Without support from the Black grassroots and the global African family, then I am unable to do my job. The sooner we get this film project fully funded and made, the sooner we can build GRCAM Chicago and expand to the African continent. These Democrat shields want black people to vote blue no matter who. Forget blue no matter who. I view these Democrat shields as an enemy to the African American community because they're the people who sold us out to massa. Not all descendants of American slaves were courageous. We had many who were sellouts. They spoiled lots of the slave rebellion, and many of them are in our family today. These Democrat shields are no different than those slaves on the plantation. They know that the Democrats are not doing nothing for black people. They are cool with all the resources going to migrants and their families. This slave mentality is like, I don't care about what happens to the black masses, just as long as I get a check for me and my family, then I'm good. I'm going to misinform black people and keep them on this treadmill for the Democrats. That's how they feel. At this point, I view Democrat shields, black politicians, and the Black Boule, Congressional Black Caucus, and the NAACP as white supremacist sympathizers. You are not for black people if you tell us to vote blue no matter who. They're willingly participating and trying to confuse us, but over here I am about separating ourselves from these off-code Negroes. This race These race traders live among us. They are in our families, but over here we will expose them for who they are. This is why Black America as a whole doesn't want a solution. My job is to get you out of this burning house that Dr. King Jr. talked about before he was deleted. I predict by 2050, Black America as a collective will become a permanent underclass in America if we do not confront this Willie Lynch mentality head on and solve it. This is what my docudrama will be about, healing from enslavement and colonization. We've been voting Democrat for the past 60 years, and how many strides have we made? If anything, everything that has happening in our community has rolled backwards. Now let me make a point too to say that the Republican Party is not faultless. I know how they feel about us, but what I can respect is that they are upfront with their feelings. But you're not going to smile in my face and tell me that you're down for me and then stab me in the back. Black people seem to forget about the crime bill and the war on drugs. All of those things that tore down the black families happened under the Democrat Party. We as black people need to be in a better position in America to help take care of ourselves, which is why we need our reparations from this government and also from these mega corporations that also benefited from slave money, because reparations will help us build things that are good for us, like building and controlling our own hospitals, schools, hotels, banks, etc. That will help improve our low-income African American community and things like food insecurities. I want us as black people to think about those things when we go to vote, and vote for policies that is in favor of us, not for a politician's skin color. We have voted 90% for Democrats for the past 60 years. We have to demand tangibles like lineage-based cash payment reparations for descendants of slaves and an anti-black hate crime bill. We've given our allegiance to the Democrat Party, but they don't give their allegiance to us. Look at the situation with the migrant crisis. They are prioritizing foreigners over American citizens. The Ukraine government is given more resources than American citizens. The Middle East is given more resources than American citizens. Do you want 4 more years of this, or do you want this illegal immigration put in check so that our children can be a priority? There are things that we could do now to help our situation, like putting into practice group economics by purchasing my revised book and buying items from my virtual store. Practicing group economic means that we can get this film project fully funded and made so that the proceeds from the film would allow us, meaning black middle class professionals and African immigrants in America, to build GRCAM Chicago so that we can become self-sufficient and self-caring of ourselves. Practicing group economics means that we keep more of the money within our community, making the dollar circulate more than it does now. It is believed that the dollar only circulates 6 hours within our community, while it is believed to circulate 20 to 30 days before it leaves other communities. I do these news and social commentaries in order to bring awareness to my listeners. Black people, let's do what we can to help improve our community while we're waiting for our reparations, and let's keep it real. None of these career politicians are ever going to do right by black people. We still have some power. Let's think about the concept of group economics. Tell me what you think of this topic in the comment section, and for more insightful commentary, please subscribe to my YouTube page. Say it with me. Not another 32 years. Not another 32 years. Not another 32 years. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you on the next video podcast. Please join GRCAM by joining either my Christian groups, Light of the World Inspirational Group, or Christian Spoken Word Network, or join my secular groups, GRCAI of Africa, GRCAI of Chicago, or New Black Voices of Media, etc. Also exchange emails with me so that we can stay connected, because this is my third Facebook page. Hackers are forever bugging. Please leave a public comment on my YouTube page about the topic. Most of all, share this video podcast with your friends. This will help get the ball rolling. I would like to thank everyone who have contributed or will contribute to support us on our PayPal page, purchasing items from our virtual store, or purchasing my revised book. The ebook is $9.99, and the paperback is $13.65. We appreciate your support. You can find all of the links below this video podcast in the comments section. If you're listening to this audio podcast on Spotify, just click on the YouTube icon and look to the far right next to my photo, and it will say more links. Click on it and you will see the about section. Then scroll down to the links. This was side A. Now we're starting side B and opening up the phone lines for Q&A. So you can interact with me in real time. Again, I'll wait around for about 15 minutes. If I don't hear from anyone, then that's going to conclude our show for today. But again, I'm doing the best that I can to get our message out there. Again, all I have is my revised book in my virtual store. We're working on getting our GoFundMe page back up and running for 2024. And I want to use our GoFundMe page as a indicator of our progress. So I want people to look at that. I would say, at least every week, just look at that in terms of, how much donations that we're receiving. And I want everybody to know where the money is going to go, and that is to go to a legitimate production company that's going to help turn our story into a reality on the big screen. 500,000, yes, it's a lot, but it's worth it. It's worth it. And again, 32 years of my life. Some people saying, "Oh, you're wasting your time," and blah blah blah, all that negativity. Those persons, I don't even want to hear from them, because I'm not doing this for myself. I'm doing this for our unborn kids. So that way they don't have to go through this Willie Lynch mentality that I had to endure. The buck stops here. And again, I need everybody, to just do your part. Do what you can, okay? And those of you that's not interested or just trying to wait around until I make it big and all that stuff, I'm going to treat you the same way that you treated me. I'm going to ignore you. It's just that simple. Those of you that's leaving comments and sharing the video podcast, I will reward you openly once I'm in a better position financially to do so. And also Sister Renee for her dedication. She's been working with me for the past 12 years. We're going to openly reward her for her time and effort and dedication. And I wish I had more people like Sister Renee working with me. In West Memphis, Arkansas, we'll set up a chapter for her. That's my gift to Sister Renee for her just, working with me throughout the years, showing my appreciation. I would like to do that before I cut and run to Africa to show her that her time was very appreciative, and I want the whole world to know who she is. That's how come I want to make sure I have somebody that could, play her role and someone to play my role as well. So, with that being said, the phone lines are now open.